Ladies and gentlemen, this is part of a new THORnews series, 10 Days of Madness in June 2020. I need a better title. Okay, so I have a theory that for the next 10 days, the energy's going to keep getting worse and things are going to keep getting crazier. We had a little 3-day patch where things kind of felt like they slowed down, and I think it's going to start getting crazy again, leading up to the total Solar Annular Eclipse on the 21st of June, which is 10 days away. And then around 5 days after that eclipse, we're definitely going to keep an eye on the weather for hurricanes and such, and earthquakes. And all right. So I made a big deal out of the May 13th Venus retrograde period that started on May 13th. And yeah, it's been pretty wild since then, wouldn't you say? Okay. But I thought the stock markets would start to go down. And they didn't really. Technically, they went up. And so I was watching an astrologer, Astrolata, who's really smart. And she was making a point about how the markets should go down with the Venus retrograde when Mercury goes invisible. And Mercury had been visible to the human eye in the sky up until the 9th. And so that Mercury going invisible combined with Venus retrograde, and then Mercury goes invisible on the 17th, that led me to the conclusion that starting on the 9th of June, that's when we should start to see markets tank. And then remember, we have all the planets on the same side of the sun all totally bunched up. And so there's just no balance in anything anywhere. And then for the second half of 2020, Mars is going to be in Aries, so it's going to be like war squared all over in everything. So yeah, definitely try and stay cool. Lately, people in my comments have been like, there's no time to stay cool. Like, okay, whatever. I get it. You're irritable. I'm irritable. Everybody's irritable. And so let's try and make it through together. Yeah, teamwork seems pretty sketchy in 2020 because everybody's mad at everybody. Anyway, so on June 5th, I put markets should tank around the 9th of June. And today, it is Venus retrograde, day 26 of 40. Venus should go direct in the 25th or so of this month. But remember, Mercury goes retrograde on the 17th. All right, and power is the ability to do good things for others. So, markets were down 102 points yesterday on the 10th. And then this morning in futures, we're getting a pretty big sell-off. On what news, you might ask? Yeah, I don't know. Like the Dow Jones, S&P, and the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ had just hit all-time new high levels. And you can see in the 2-day, they've been tracking down. So that theory may be correct. And on my whole Venus retrograde down market theory, we were supposed to tab up the score when Venus retrograde is over. And so markets had been bouncing between 24,000, 25,000 on the Dow Jones, and then they burst through, and now it looks like they're headed back down again. On what news, you might ask? Well, Wall Street's going to blame it on the Biden cuts, and he says he wants to undo Trump's tax cuts, and that has supposedly rattled Wall Street. But I got a feeling it probably has more to do with the fact that the reopening of America amidst COVID is not going well. And I just posted a video about that whole subject, and I get people telling me that it's a hoax or it's not true or it's a pandemic, which is why I don't talk about it as much as I used to, because I don't know, man. I can only tell you guys what I know and what I believe, and then you make up your own decisions. If people want to act like there's no big deal and lockdowns are never coming back, then that's on you. And, I've said the whole time that we're going to be in a W-shaped recovery, meaning that the markets go down and then they pop back up and then they go down again. So now we've had the V shape, and so it looks like we're headed back to the W shape that I've been predicting for a month or two. So nobody knows what's going to happen. I'm just saying this seems to be the market sell-off that I was predicting, and it's happening now. I could be wrong. This is a whole theory. We're just kind of testing it out. All right, so everybody have a great morning, and I totally love you. Let's have a great Thursday. And like I said, it's going to be the 10 days of leading up to the Cancer total solar eclipse. And with the total solar eclipse, it actually blocks the sunlight out over the Earth that it usually gets. So it disrupts the flow. And remember, normally, I think most years have 4 eclipses, and this year has 6 eclipses, bro. 2020 is a weird year on every level. Okay, stay cool. Peace out. God bless everyone.